Hello and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Vancouver. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Randy Bueller, and we are underway in round 9. This is a big one. Both of these players sitting at 6 and 2 means, well, one of them is making it to day 2 and one of them is going to have to go sightseeing or maybe play Super Sunday Series tomorrow.
Win or go home. You're right. It's win or go play the Super Sunday
That's
Series.
what it is now, yeah.
It doesn't have quite the ring to it.
No.
Speaking of not having quite the ring to it, Jeskai Tempo, this is a Delver deck. That is Delver of Secrets in the middle of your screen.
Pearce didn't get the memo?
Yeah, see, there were these bannings, and the deck hasn't been good in Delver. You know what else he has in this Delver of Secrets deck?
What's that?
Step Links.
What? I haven't seen that card in forever. Step Links?
Step Links.
Still alive?
Absolutely. You know what? It's still pretty good with fetch lands.
The other Delver.
The other Delver, sure.
Better than Delver.
You get 12 fetch lands in your deck. Sorry, 13 fetch lands in your deck.
So Reid is playing
Jeskai Delver.
Deathcloud Rock, which sounds like a sweet band name.
Would be a nice band. I would watch them.
I would watch them too. And I actually had a chance to talk to him just briefly, just asked him how his day was going. He said, okay, and I said, are you happy with your deck? How you feeling? And he said, it's one of 20 decks in Modern that you can play with and win some games, so yeah, I'm fine. And he likes this deck. He came out here to play this. He didn't go to Memphis, even though
his buddies are all in Memphis.
His two teammates, yeah.
Well, his closest buddies.
Yeah, the Peach Garden Oath guys, Owen and Huey are in Memphis, and Reid decided to come play some Modern up here in Canada. Now,
we had him on camera earlier, and the deck did not look great.
I asked him about that, and I said it wasn't so sweet on camera. He said, yeah, it's been sweet off camera, though. So I think our timing might not have been perfect.
Yeah, so Deathcloud Rock, it is just black-green. None of this splash white Abzan, none of this splash red Jund, just black-green. And it does, in fact, play a couple copies of Deathcloud. So he's just all in on fighting the attrition war on every front he can find to fight it on.
We saw some elders in this deck too. Card that normally you only see in the Scapeshift decks, but
Secure Tribe Elder, yeah.
Secure Tribe Elder exists for Reid Duke.
We see Golgari Rot Farms in this deck. That's my favorite. That's when
funny that you said that because he played it right. You were reading the deck list.
I didn't even notice.
You just called it perfect. And here's Boros Charm to the head. So now the damage is going to start flowing for Pearce Donnelly, who had his Delver of Secrets inquisitioned away in the first turn. But Boros Charm to the head and nothing. So no land here for Donnelly.
Yeah, he's got Geist of St. Trapp stranded with no third land.
I think Reid is pretty happy that he gets a little bit of breathing room here, though. He's going to have to make good use of it, and so far he hasn't. He's got 4 mana and does nothing, doesn't attack with his Treetop Village, and end step. Pearce is still finding places to spend that mana. This time it's Lightning Helix. It's going to drop Reid Duke all the way down to 13 already. Remember, Pearce hasn't even played a creature yet.
Yeah, not a dedicated burn deck. There's 10 burn spells in Pearce's deck.
He's finally found that third land. And are we going to see the Geist of St. Trapp here? No, Pearce is not going to fall for this. And Reid has to just leave all that mana fallow. He doesn't do anything with it. No attack, no nothing. Not going to be happy about that.
Yeah, Pearce does have half a dozen counters in his list. 3 mana leaks, 3 remands.
And here's Thoughtseize.
Reid's like,
Lightning Bolt.
What's going on? Can I see your hand again? Weren't you supposed to play a Geist or something?
Interestingly, Pearce can mana leak this to protect if he thinks that he's not going to hit anything better with it.
Sure.
And his hand is stacked. It's all spells. You
don't want him to take anything, right? I don't want to let Reid Duke see my hand either if I'm Pearce Donnelly.
I don't either.
So I'll make the choice for you. I thought that he's going to have a mana leak. What you cannot have is the information.
He's going to grab a mountain. Even if he mana leaks here. Now the one argument though in the other direction is he could Lightning Bolt in response, let Thoughtseize resolve. Sure, take one of my awesome spells. They're all great. And Reid takes 5 this turn if that happens.
That's fine. But you can still do that.
Well, if mana leak, Lightning Bolt. It gets countered though. So he doesn't take 5, he only takes 3.
Oh, sure. You want the Thoughtseize to resolve for the 2 damage?
I mean, if he's on the burn plan, he shocks himself. Maybe you just let him.
It's a fine point. No, you make a good point.
Look at his hand.
Doesn't get to do anything with this 2 mana, although I guess he does have up either Remand or Mana Leak.
Yeah,
you're right. I like this line.
Vapor Snag there too, in case Reid's plan was to activate the treetop or play a creature.
And the card under our 0/0 match score is Snapcaster Mage.
And then that's a remand next to it too?
Yep.
Wow, this is a great hand for Pearce. I mean...
Yeah, Reid takes Snapcaster, that makes sense.
Yeah. He is going to have to deal with the Geist of St. Traft at some point, but Pearce would have to tap out for that. Now Reid has perfect info here about what Pearce is up to and how this game could go, and he decides just to play Swamp Go.
What is Reid leaving up? I mean, he's not attacking with Treetop. He's not tapping his mana.
It's got to be Victim of Night or something like that, though. At this point, Pearce could just play Geist of St. Traft and say, I'm not too worried about it.
Right.
He's got...
I mean, Reid can kill a Geist. Deathcloud isn't targeted. Liliana can obviously kill it. Damnation can kill it. This is one of the better decks in the field for dealing with a resolved Geist of St. Traft.
Is Reid just setting up for a huge Deathcloud here? Like, is this exactly what he wanted for Pearce to tap out?
Maybe.
He can Deathcloud for 3, wipe all of his lands, most of his hand out? No, that wasn't it either.
It's 4-manning.
It was Garrick Wildspeaker. Oh man, maybe he's setting up for like the world's biggest Deathcloud. He's going to untap Golgari Rock Farm.
Sure.
And he's going to Damnation.
Sure.
All right, clear the board. Reid Duke still at a comfortable 10. Now he's got a Planeswalker and the Treetop Village at his side, so he's got near infinite mana next turn if he wants it.
And you see a lot of the sort of schizophrenia that happens in these Jeskai colored decks in Modern sometimes. You tap out for the Geist of St. Traft because you really want to play Geist of St. Traft, but now your mana leak and remand shields are down and your opponent can just do whatever they want to do.
That's right, and awkwardly here, Pearce has drawn a Step Links here. It's pretty late in the game for a Step Links with no extra lands in hand as well, but he's decided to leave up his counter magic as well. So the shields, they are back up now, and Reid doesn't have the opening to just go crazy. He knows that Pearce has both remand and mana leak in hand, so he's going to have to plan out accordingly. Wow, he's making a ton of mana. He might just play around mana leak straight up here.
4/5.
Thragtusk.
With four untapped.
Yeah, that's going to get remanded here.
Yeah.
And if Reid has a land, can he just slam it and replay it?
Sure.
Bang! Just like that. Reid Duke, everybody. Showing us how it's done. So he is going to jump up to
the
13.
sequencing there is just so precise. He's got 4 mana, so it looks like he's playing Thragtusk and planning to pay for mana leak.
Right.
Haha, get you with remand. Oh, I saw the land drop.
Right, yeah.
Remand doesn't do it either.
I like that play.
It's not a big difference, and it may not have affected the play, but it's just...
Yeah, I think Pearce...
The sequencing is precisely correct.
That's right. It's a beautiful thing. And remember, both these players are playing for day 2 as well. 7-2 guarantees them into day 2. 6-3, well, it's not technically impossible, but you are incredibly unlikely to make it. So they really, really need to win this match to continue. Pearce has made it this far with a deck we don't see that much in Modern. Jeskai Delver.
No, I haven't seen a Delver Secrets since Omaha.
No, it's just extinct at this point. And Reid Duke has made it this far with a deck we never see.
I haven't seen a Deathcloud in I don't remember how long.
Right.
Since like a cube draft last year sometime.
Yeah, some cube. Rashad setting the line at 2008.
Okay.
All right, so Step Links is going to get bigger, but what is he going to do? Just run it into the Thragtusk? It's so funny that it happens to be Vapor Snag versus Thragtusk, because that's why Thragtusk was made with the clause that it has, which is instead of dies, it's a leaves playability. Don't think you get ahead. Now here's Path.
That beats.
That's good. And it does actually work out for Pearce here, where he gets an attack in, though he can't kill Garrick. Oh, is there more? Is he lining up more? Is there a bolt in his future here? No, he is going to just
Vapor
use
snag,
the snag.
beast.
Yeah, get the beast out of here.
Still think 3/3s should all be elephants, but going all the way back. Those were the first 3/3 tokens.
You think they should all be elephants? I like it. All right,
Do we really need all that many 3/3 green token creatures?
The big payoff here for Reid Duke, though, is even though he's tapped out, Slaughter Pact allows him to kill Steplings. Pearce, maybe not as familiar with the Slaughter Pact, wants to double check exactly what it does. And he's just going to mana leak it, since Reid is tapped out anyway. So Reid has successfully got the mana leak out of Pearce's hand, though he's down to 8.
And Steplings attacked Reid, not Garrick?
Correct. Would have left Garrick at 1.
But now he doesn't have to pay for the Slaughter Pact.
That's right. So what's the long-term plan here for Reid with his rock deck? Garrick's a nice one. You can start making beasts.
You can see how many cards he's up. I mean, they're all lands right now, but still.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Eternal Witness. Now, remember, Thragtusk is gone.
For Inquisition.
Yeah, so this is actually not
Oh, and there was a
super
Snapcaster
exciting,
Mage. I don't think Reid knew about that Snapcaster Mage. Time to start attacking with Treetop Village.
What time is it? TTV. Oh, there's another one. And here's a beast as well. Wow, what a great sequence for Reid. So this was the big payoff turn for him. This is where everything turned around for Reid. He stabilized at 8 life and has his opponent now top decking. And he's got a lot of power. He's going to be attacking for 11 here.
4 lands, 1 creature, 1 card in hand against, what is it, 3, 6, 8 lands, one of which taps for 2 mana.
One of them's 2 lands.
It's sort of 9 lands, 3 creatures, 2 of the lands are treetop villages, and Reid still has cards in hand. And oh, by the way, Garrick can give Overrun.
That? Crunch. This is awesome. 6, 12, 18, 23. And look at the smile on Reid's face.
Yeah, that one deserves a smile.
Even Pearce is smiling. He's like, sure. Your cube deck beat my modern deck. That was great. All right.
Jerry Thompson playing on the back table.
Yeah.
He's also in a bubble match this round.
He is. He's sitting at X and 2. He's playing Splinter Twin.
That's not exciting. I wanted to hear about some awesome new brew Jerry came up with.
No, Jerry's here to beat down. Jordy Rose on Obzon mid-range. So, you know, this is kind of the defining matchup here for the tournament. It's what we've seen on day 1 at least. Splinter Twin and Obzon seem to be the top 2 decks. We'll get a metagame breakdown as we...
It feels like a lot of Splinter Twin. We've seen more Splinter Twin than we've seen Obzon. Yeah. I don't know that that's representative of the field, but it feels like Splinter Twin numbers are way up.
Could be representative of the field as they are winning.
Yeah.
You know.
Liliana discarding Lingering Souls, just the way Obzon drew it up. Such a good card for that deck.
It sure is. And here's an End-Step Deceiver Exarch, which is immediately going to get killed by an Abrupt Decay. Jordy Rose not interested, fussing around at all.
Not interested in letting Jerry untap with a untapping creature in play.
Yeah, the problem being, of course, that he just wouldn't be able to cast Abrupt Decay because his land was going to get tapped down. Otherwise, he'd prefer to wait. I mean, there's not much that can get away in the Abrupt Decay coming out of Jerry Thompson's list here. So he would have liked that, but the mana constraints made it necessary to just snap off the Deceiver Exarch there, ensuring that he will live at least 1 more turn.
Now this is supposed to be a bad matchup for Twin, right? Seems to be the word on the street between Abrupt Decay and Thoughtseize that Twin is good against most of the rest of the field other than Obzon, and it's, I mean, you can win against Obzon, but you're not favored.
Right, so Jerry is going to flash in Pestermite on upkeep, and he's going to tap down, well, I think he was going to tap down the Godless Shrine, but it got tapped for mana anyway thanks to Path to Exile. Jordy, this guy doesn't mess around. Like, he sees a potential kill, and he takes it immediately. He does not want to give Jerry an opening at all, plus mana efficiency.
I mean, that's generally the right way to play against this Twin deck. If you just keep killing all the creatures, you don't have to fight the enchantment.
So Jerry is left creatureless once again. And Jordy with an active Liliana and Lingering Souls attacking is exactly where Obzon wants to be.
Now it looks like this is game 2. Jerry's already up a game.
Does seem so. Just saw Kenji Gashira walk by. He's X and 1.
Wow.
The day. He's done.
Numat the Nummy.
Wasted no time winning his match, apparently.
Headed to bed at 8-1 overnight.
Yeah.
Nice. Good for him.
He's playing Splinter Twin as well, so maybe Splinter Twin's going to end up being the deck of the format. Sower of Temptation has stolen a token. GCB, what are you seeing out there on the top tables?
I have an update on Paul Cheon. Lost game 1 to Burn. In game 2, stabilized 4 life. His opponent had 1 card in hand. He had a Spell Skite. His opponent's last card is a Skullcrack dropping into 1. Opponent pulls a Lava Spike off the top.
Oh.
So Cheon drops to X and 2.
Still into day 2.
Absolutely.
But 7 and 2.
Thank you, GCB.
Skullcrack, Lava Spikes, 1 card in hand.
It's brutal.
That is rough.
Lightning Bolt doesn't get it done there. Ooh, Liliana is poised for an ultimate here.
Tarmogoyf got killed, though.
Goyf got killed.
Well, spell snared.
Right. This is interesting. All right, why don't we jump back over to our main match here. We'll keep an eye on that one for you, the Jerry Thompson one on our back camera, but this one's going again. I want to see the game 2 from Reid Duke and Pearce Donnelly here.
Definitely.
Pearce running Serum Visions. Finds him those last few burn spells are a key threat when he needs it. Reid does not have the luxury of card selection of that caliber.
His card selection is grind the game out for 3 more turns.
It is just the grindiest. Reid Duke, the meat grinder, has arrived. His win condition on the table already. It'll be 10 turns, but he will activate an attack with that at some point. He finds his Rot Farm here. He's going to play a Verdant Catacombs and ship the turn back. That's going to prompt Pearce to fire off a Boros Charm.
It's like Pearce has done 9 damage already. 4 of it to Reid.
That's not how we count it, right? It's not cumulative.
I don't think so. I mean, he is the one doing all the damage.
He is.
All right, fine. Reid's going to get in the damage race.
Both players at 15. Reid with his Deathcloud Rock deck. And another Treetop Village. All of his lands are in the battlefield tapped here. And Reid passes the turn back. So Pearce has got another Boros Charm for end step.
I feel like Reid's okay with this Boros Charm plan.
I think he is too. The Thrag Tusk
like, I'm
really
just
helped.
up a card, now I'm up another card. Yeah, I'm at 11, but I don't think Pearce has enough burn to. Well, I mean, there's a Bolt.
He's got Bolt and Snapcaster.
Snapcaster, okay, that gets Reid down to 5. It's starting to be scary. But he still needs 2 more spells from there.
Yeah, that gets Reid down to 4 if he snaps back the Boros Charm at some point. So it is actually getting a little...
Yeah, all right, that's 1 spell. I'll buy that.
Obstinate Baloth.
You were saying?
Gets Reid down to 8. It doesn't sound nearly as good. So let's
this deck is all just Obstinate Baloths and Thrag Tusks. Those seem pretty good in this format.
They do. They actually do. Now, they're not good against some things, obviously. If your opponent's trying to infect you out, they're not great. If your opponent doesn't care about your life total, like in the case of Splinter Twin, they're not great. But against these decks, burn decks and these, aggressive decks, those cards are ridiculous. Now Reid had his Baloth remanded, so he's going to have to wait a turn on that, or maybe even upgrade it to a Thrag Tusk here.
Tom Martell, how'd that last round go for you?
I won.
Tom won.
Squeaked into day 2.
Bubble match winner Tom Martell has pulled up a chair to watch on our screen.
Mr. Clutch. Ooh, double bolt to the face here.
That puts Reid at 5.
He's going to put him to 5. He can
and now he can Snapcaster and get him to 1.
To get him to 1, but
then he
Reid
just
has
plays
the
Obstinate Bailoff.
Yeah, so this doesn't quite.
Oh, he top decked Lightning Bolt.
Did he really?
He top decked Lightning Bolt.
He needs another mana,
Bolt,
though.
Snapcaster, Lightning Bolt. No, he doesn't.
Oh, he's got the other bolt. You're right.
Good God, what just happened?
Brutal.
That's insane.
That's brutal. Reid Duke.
He just top decked running Lightning Bolts.
Look at the
the smile on Reid's. Yeah, it's like what?
They actually have the same look.
Did he go Lightning Bolt off the remand into Lightning Bolt off the draw phase?
Must have.
Yeah, he did. He went lightning. He remanded the Obstinate Bailoff, drew a Lightning Bolt off the remand, then went to his draw phase, drew another Lightning Bolt.
Is this game hard?
Not when you draw like that.
Pearce thinks it's easy. Let's jump in and check in on Jerry Thompson and Jordy Rose. Jerry's up a game in the match here, but looks pretty far behind.
Oh
here.
yeah, this is the game we were watching before, and it's still going.
He's going to get back a Tarmogoyf here. Well, this is where you're happy that that your Splinter Twin deck has the ability to just win on the spot, although it looks like down goes Pestermite to Liliana
Had
here.
the ability.
Had the ability.
So he got 1 card in hand?
He has 1 card.
That looks like a lot of damage. Gavany Township makes it lethal. It is with the Gavany Township.
That's right. So
on
Jerry
to game
Thompson's
3.
going to lose this one. Jordy Rose picks it up, and we're going to get a game 3 in both of our main matches here.
Yes, sir. Both bubble matches, too.
Pretty funny. We have a pretty standard, like we've got our boilerplate matchup of Splinter Twin versus Obzon in our one match. And then over here,
our what on earth matchup?
Deathcloud Rock versus Jeskai Delver filling out the other table.
You get Dredge back in here to round out the
no kidding
what's going on matches. Do we know how Dan Hansen finished up?
Don't know.
Should see if we can get word on him.
I am curious.
All right, Reid playing 1 game to get to day 2.
Bumped into Florian Koch, who is here all the way from Germany.
Nice.
They're doing a road trip, not a road trip, but just a big trip with friends. They're going here, they're going to go to Miami and Cleveland. They're going to be here for in North America for about a month.
Crisscrossing the country.
All over the place. Hang out on the beach a little, and then go to Cleveland.
Nice.
And Florian, he's X1.
Wow.
Yeah, playing Obzon. GCB, what do you got going on the top tables?
Brian Kibler over there down a game against Affinity, and his opponent's fully tapped out. Kibler has nothing but 0 power creatures, but 2 of them are Noble Hierarchs. His opponent's at 4, and all he needs is a Township, an Exalted Creature, or a Siege Rhino. He lists them off, flips his top card, and it's a Slaughter Pact. So Kibler down to X and 2.
Okay, so that's his second loss. He's still around.
Yes.
But he'll be 7-2 going into day 2?
Yeah.
It's going to be stressful tomorrow.
There's a lot of good players at 7-2, that's for sure. Can you check on Dan Hansen and that Dredge deck?
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, I'd love to hear how that turned out.
All right, we're underway in game 3 here. Pearce Donnelly has to reveal Ye Old Hand as Inquisition of Kozilek is going to strip something away, and it is quite a hand here, Randy. He's got half Delver, negate Step Links, and a Geist, and a pair of lands. No red mana. The Bolt plan doesn't seem to be in effect, but he doesn't need it. All of his cards are blue or white, and he's got blue and white mana. It's kind of a weird
Delver?
draw. Obviously, hand dependent, right? Like, I don't want to put you on the spot. Like,
yeah, a lot of it depends on what's on Reid's hand.
Right.
Looking at that, I feel like Delver has the most impact on the game.
It does feel like that. Like, especially if Reid doesn't have much going on in the early, he's going to definitely take Delver in that case. If it's a mid to late game problem, then he might take something like Geist of St. Trap.
Yeah, maybe if you have no answers to Geist, you have to take a Geist.
Yeah.
But what if he's got like an Abrupt Decay for the Delver, but no answer to Geist? Maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, he takes the Delver.
Yeah,
that seems like it buys him time.
It does. It probably just buys him the most time that he can have. Anyway, All right, so passes the turn back to Pearce Donnelly.
He draws an Elspeth.
He drew an Elspeth off the top, which is a little awkward for him. He's going to want to play that one untapped so he can get the step links down. He does so. Takes a couple of damage, and Reid pulls a Secure Tribe Elder, I believe. We don't see a lot of Secure Tribe Elders out here, but Scape Shift sometimes. And there's that Golgari Rot Farm, if I'm not mistaken. The hand goes on the head for Reid Duke.
Does he not have a green mana for this?
I don't know. Oh, he's got a Thoughtseize here.
Probably Thoughtseize in a Rot Farm. Is this?
Yeah, that makes
Elspeth
sense.
is the new one. Pearce just volunteers it for him.
Yep. Now Reid's going to have to consult
this
with
one
his
is
hand.
This one is super hand dependent.
Yeah, super hand dependent. Elspeth, a big problem in the late game.
Yeah. How many of these cards can you answer? And how worried are you about negate? I mean, at some level, this deck just wants to trade cards, so just going to trade Thoughtseize for a card.
He's taking Elspeth.
Took the Elspeth.
And there's that Rot Farm. So Reid continuing to develop his board here. We saw him kind of combo off with Rot Farm and Garruk Wildspeaker in the first game. This game it looks a little clunkier, but could set him up for a good turn next turn. You know, Liliana next turn or something, that wouldn't be bad. Ooh, but Pearce found Misty Rainforest on his draw step here. And that's going to add up to a nice little chunk of damage for him. He's going to crunch in there for 4. Gives him red mana.
Trigger, trigger, take 4.
Okay. And there's that Secure Tribe Elder. Not bad
Just
at all.
Secure Tribe Elder. No, it's decent.
But Pearce left up negate mana, so Reid knew he couldn't play anything into that. He's going to have to just settle for developing his mana, and he's not likely to take any damage this turn either. So
yeah, but
he drew Baloth.
Sure, sets that up for next turn.
Beautiful.
Can't negate that. Geist is going to resolve here, though. I guess Geist is not very good against Baloth.
I mean, it's not bad. I think Pearce does just start to look at all of these things at some point as burn spells, and Geist is just another burn spell. And Reid is going to immediately cash in his Secure Tribe Elder, preventing 2 damage here, and setting up that Baloth for next turn. And there's Geist of St. Trap for Pearce. All right, this is getting interesting here.
Yeah, if Reid does have Ravenous Baloth, that goes a long way towards stabilizing this board.
Well, I hope it's not Ravenous Baloth.
I mean, not Ravenous Baloth, sorry. Obstinate
I mean, this
Baloth.
does look like a cube deck. But how about Damnation for Reid Duke?
That'll
Wiping the board. Not too bad at all. He was able to leverage Damnation in the first game to great effect, and this one was probably better. He lost nothing there. And Pearce just has to pass the turn back. Reid's at a fairly stable 13. Pearce drew Lightning Bolt for the turn. He still has that negate in hand as well.
He's on negate, path, Lightning Bolt. Just all reaction.
He's got and he's got one other spell. And there is
that Thron?
The last troll.
Of course it is.
Why wouldn't it be? Reid Duke not interested in getting mana leaked here in the slightest. And this is going to be Lightning Bolt to the head for Pearce. So
yeah, what else are you going to do?
Reid Duke.
Reid's like, not again. Not like last game.
I think Reid's fine seeing that. I mean, he knows.
Well, he was fine seeing it last game, too. And Obstinate Baloth got remanded, and suddenly he was dead. I mean, it took runner, Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt. But that's what the dude had. I mean, whatever. I think Reid was correct to lead with Thrun rather than the Baloth.
Yeah, he got shown mana leak in the other game, so he knows. Here's a land for Pearce, who looks like he's just going to ship the turn back.
He's like, 10 down to 9.
I mean, Reid can close this game out pretty quickly here, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Like
it was
if Pearce cracks that Flooded Strand, Reid can 2-turn him here. Pearce has a lot of work to do to get Reid down. It's certainly possible, but Reid does know multiple cards in Pearce's hand. He knows about the path. He knows about the negate. So there's only one unknown card for Pearce here. All right, so what's the plan for Reid here? Start things off with Baloth? No. Play around Mana Leak still, just in case. There's
Baloth with 3.
Yeah. And this is going to allow him to crack for 7 damage here, too.
Yeah, those 3 mana are...
his life total. This is great for Reid. Again, he knows that Pearce just doesn't have the tools to win this game from this spot.
He's presenting lethal next turn.
Yeah, I think that Pearce is going to have to...
It's just...
Was it a Snapcaster, though? Is that his other card?
Yeah.
Okay. That could definitely change things. That lets Pearce fire it off. He could kill Treetop Village here. Then he can flashback Snapcaster and take out the Baloth. He still has to deal with Thrun, which that's not going anywhere.
No. But this is just textbook Rock, right? Discard something, discard something.
If you're feeling a little sad at home,
Tribe Elder, Damnation to 2 for 1 you, summon a Thrun, summon a Baloth, attack with a Treetop.
Yeah, there's no Wrath of God in Pearce's board either, so that's not happening. Yeah, Thrun's not going anywhere. All right, I expect a flurry of Path to Exiles here. I just don't see how that's going to get Pearce out of this spot, though.
Yeah, he can deal with the non-Thrun creatures.
Yeah. Sure.
Seems like
I checked on Dan Hansen's match.
Yeah?
Down a game against Grixis Delver. Facing, he's got most of his graveyard, his library in his graveyard, facing down a board of a token, a young pyromancer, an unflipped Delver, and a Tasigur. His opponent only has 3 land in play.
Wow.
And he manages to kill everything on the board between a Vengeful Pharaoh and a Conflagrate, but his opponent targets him with a Thought Scour, and he doesn't have cards left to kill him. So he decks before he's able to kill him.
He got decked by his opponent's Thought Scour?
He ran out of turns, yeah.
Oh my goodness. And that was at what record?
That was at X and 2, and he lost.
Oh, that's a bubble match, so no dredge tomorrow?
And no dredge tomorrow.
Wow. That's too bad.
All right, thank you, GCB. So it looks like Pearce decided to use a Lightning Bolt to take down that Treetop Village. Interesting there. I mean, you got to figure like
the path.
Yeah, I mean, you got to figure like he wants to try to burn Reid Duke out here.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
I don't really see what other plan he has. Like if he could play Geist of St. Trapped here, he could at least make Reid think twice about starting to attack. But
Pearce only has 1 red mana against Tekka. Chance's problem with both. He's gonna lose his last red source.
All right, so Tom Martell definitely points out here that Pearce is down to just 1 red mana source, so he wanted to use his Lightning Bolt while he could. And right on time,
on
Duke
cue,
shows him why.
No red mana for you.
Yeah. Either way, I don't like Pearce Donnelly's chances. Reid Duke looks like he's in great position here to make day 2. With his pal Thrun.
Definitely. The last troll has not played his last match.
Looks like Reid's really in the tank about something here. It's Tasigur, the Golden Fang. He's got plenty of fodder in the graveyard.
Does that guy add value?
And that ought to do it, right? I mean,
Tom Martell stands up to walk over and congratulate Reid on making day 2.
Yeah.
He's seen enough.
Interestingly, Reid has left himself with Secure Tribe Elder as his only spell in there.
All value, all the time.
That's what he needs here.
And he can activate Tasigur with those 3 lands. One of them's a Golgari Rot Farm.
Let's see what he hits.
He just wants more land.
I always hit a Thrag Tusk and an Abrupt Decay. It will be the Elder, though. that Pearce Donnelly allows him to have. Again, though, now we've got two massive threats with Pearce with really no forward momentum here. He has no line on actually getting Reid from 13 to 0. And yeah, here comes Treetop Village as well. And that ought to do it if Pearce doesn't have anything here. And he doesn't. He can chump block 1 and take 7, and that's the game. That's going to do it. Reid Duke advances to day 2 here in Vancouver with his Deathcloud rock deck. And Pearce Donnelly, no shame in that.
Who won the back match? Can we find out whether Jerry Thompson is going to be playing on
I am curious. We want to let people know if Jerry won before we sign off for the day.
Sign off for that. Don't we have a... We're not going to watch the Turbo King of the Hill now?
Oh, do we have one going over there? Well, is it going still? Yeah, we can watch it.
Got to see how Alexander Hayne does with his Bloom deck. I mean...
Can't get enough of it.
It's not Alexander Hayne.
Oh,
spoiler.
It's Seb Deno, isn't it?
He lost last round.
Yeah, Seb beat him.
All right, so we think Jerry lost. Did we get a confirmation on that? Jerry Thompson
did
lost.
Lose. Tough beats for Jerry. All right, let's get through a turbo
Affinity, is that still a deck?
We'll find out right now.
Yeah, I guess so.
Robbie Schmidt is
8-0 with it.
Wow.
Right? This is King of the Hill match. These guys are undefeated on the tournament.
You are correct. Seb Deno on Infect. And oftentimes from the Affinity player, we'll just see like one Galvanic Blast in the list. I don't know how many Robbie's running, but he had one here. Okay, there's
He's
another
got at least 2.
He must be on the Galvanic Blast style deck. That was popular for a while too, and those numbers have fluctuated quite a bit.
Interestingly, this is linear aggro versus linear aggro.
It is.
There's only about 4 or 5 undefeated players left in the field, maybe 6. And here, yeah, linear aggro. We had 2 others in the back table in the feature match. Let's see if I can figure out what they're on. 3 Galvanic Blast in Robbie Schmidt's list, yeah.
Okay. Once I saw the second, I would assume 4, but...
1 Thoughtcast.
Just the one.
Just the one.
So if you were to snapshot here, it looks like Robbie's in full command, though we have seen, Distortion
Nexus,
Strike,
Wild Defiance, Noble Hierarch.
Things can get out of hand quickly.
Does he have, mana to activate the blocker is the important thing. Yeah. Inkmoth blocks.
What is he giving it protection from?
Artifacts, right?
Yes, you're right. It does give artifacts. I forgot.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if that killed him, though. Was that the game? Like Wild Defiance triggers there, that would have been 4.
It must have been.
If he got in for any earlier, that could have just been it.
He wouldn't have. He wouldn't have gone. He wouldn't have bothered.
Can you believe that? He had like 7 creatures he was facing.
That board was insane.
Pro Artifacts gets the job done there for Seb Deno. So
crazy.
Can we skip through the sideboarding?
Pascal Maynard is another one of the undefeateds, by the way. Pascal Maynard, have we talked about this guy?
He is on an insane heater.
He's made top 8 of each of the last 3 Grand Prix he's attended.
Yes.
That includes Mexico City, which he won, and it includes Omaha, where he also went undefeated on day 1.
That's right, and Ottawa, where he did the same. Undefeated day 1 in Ottawa as well.
Just nuts.
Yeah.
Maynard is on Twin.
Yes. All right, so another great start here from Robbie Schmidt, but as we saw last time, that doesn't necessarily mean that the game's over, although Spellskite Nature's Claim, Spell Pierce your Nature's Claim.
Wow.
Oh man, Spellskite first has cost Seb Deno in a big way there.
You know who Pascal Maynard's undefeated 8-0 opponent is this round?
Who's that?
Another Infect deck.
Wow.
Mark
really?
Jacobson. Yeah, we know 4 of the undefeateds. I think there were 5 or 6. And 2 are Infect, 1's Affinity. And
so I drove up here with a friend of mine, Woodrow. He played Infect. He went 4-3 and went home, or went back to the hotel. I think he thought this wasn't a good choice. I don't want to be the one to tell him.
Well, there was a lot of it here, so.
It's true. All right, I've seen enough dice moving to know that Robbie Schmidt should be right in the wheelhouse of
Steel
picking up a victory
Overseer is
here.
making everything gigantic.
Well, there is a Blighted Agent there.
Blighted Agent.
That's scary.
Noble Hierarch, Pendlehaven.
Nope.
Nope, not good enough.
Game 3 it is. turbo magic.
This is good stuff.
Oh, pile shuffling, so easy. Uh-oh, this is a mold of 5 so far for Deno.
Ooh.
Okay, but he's kept this
Keep
one.
the 5.
You know, the deck can win out of nowhere,
Oh, yeah.
but the more tools, the better. Yeah, take that, Ornithopter. Twisted image. Got him.
Springleaf Drum not looking as good. Springleaf Drum's just fine.
No threats for Seb Deno. No creatures at all.
Yeah, I guess at 5 cards you can keep a hand without an infect creature.
Wow.
Oh, geez.
He
Cranial
is just
plating.
going off. And this looks really bad for Sebastian Deno to stay undefeated. Robbie Schmidt with Affinity looks like he's going to be able to take this down.
And he
Seb
does.
just has to throw his hand on the
Handful
table.
of
A bunch
giant
of pump
grubs.
spells. Yep, and that's going to do it. Robbie Schmidt's going to be our overnight king of the hill.